find yourself getting passed by multiple cars, as I mentioned earlier on. So you're off in a very precarious situation, but he often finds himself in these places. He doesn't qualify as well as he races.
Up front, they are getting with Lee Aberdeen and Luca Varani, not very far apart at all here. But I just want to see how Alistair Haig deals with Marcello Kessler coming around the old hairpin.
Say it's not the best decision they've ever made, just not having done that under the safety car, really.
Yeah, they're taking their pit stop strategies from Ferrari lately or something. What's going on?
In turn one, just too much gas on them, too much feet on the loud pedal, and unfortunately he's dropped all the way down the order. But Philip Hammer is out in front by an 8.91 seconds. Dan Michael is a wall there, sir. And it definitely doesn't want to be hitting that earlier on as well.
Difficult, the understeer is in the dirty air through that final corner because it's such a long corner and you get dragged off into the grass very easily. He'll have the slipstream down towards the chicane. Peterson was briefly alongside, but that slipstream has saved him and kept him in third.
Yeah, Varani now lost a little bit of time to Aberdeen, about half a second. Peterson is Pike's pushed Morton forward up ahead. He's got out of line. Is now Pike going to have a go at Werrell? Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly. Miller's still start trouble. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden Miller's back in play.
On to the back end of Phil Jocelyn. So there's been a lot of movers and shakers in this first 2 laps here for race.
Absolutely serious racing league. Everybody's a lot have fun. Yeah, it's all about the entertainment. So I hope everybody is enjoying themselves out there in the chat. We know that Ron is been enjoying himself watching. The Burger King machine's off into the grass a little bit there. Is that really bunching up now?
Standing out from the crowd is a challenge. You have the passion, courage, and ambition to do something extraordinary. You have an awesome story to tell and a wonderful vision to share with the world. At Eddie Videos, we take that vision and turn it into reality so you can be heard above the rest. You need something different, and we give you the ultimate advantage. We can help you transform your ideas, images, and clips into a professional video that brings your message to life and sets a new bar for excellence. Visuals, voiceovers, editing, animations, whatever you need, we've got it all. If you're a new business looking to make your mark or an experienced company searching for something new and amazing, we're here to help. Trust us to take your video to amazing levels of awesomeness.
Does he have it? Medeiros is going to get it. They're going to toss it. They haven't got it.
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such chopper. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry! Good evening and welcome to the iGPFun F3 League Round 10 Season 3 live from Detroit, Belle Isle. It's going to be interesting. It really is. I am James Parfitt. I'm going to be joined in the booth by my very good friend Alex Goldschmidt, who will be joining me here for this 14-turn, 32-lap circuit at a track length of 3.76 kilometers. This temporary circuit in Detroit, 40 cars on track. Well, can only mean one thing. It's going to be interesting. But this is the top 30 in the standings currently at the moment. Kenzie Newhoff is out in front with 331 points. Connor Gibb in second on 307, with Antonio Jimenez in third on 296. Andy Flint on 295. Christian Glamseer on 289. And then Marcis Putnieks on 248. Adam Talmsma on 236. Marek Otlovs on 228 in 8th. And then Leonard Cherry in 9th on 218. Chuck Morrow in 10th on 211, with Vyacheslav Podopenko on 210. Robert Ridgway on 209. Evan Way on 204. Reno Scatini on 200. And Pedro Suarez rounds out the top 15. On we go to 16, Koji Ito on 182, with Jakub Olezwinski on 169, Dorian Arujo on 165, Samuel Hermer 156, Erwin Tumakans on 153, Jacques Willems on 149, Stephen Ridders on 139 in 22nd, and in 23rd is Yang Shi Lin on 138, Simon Fessy on 133 in 24th, and then Gianfranco Bagoda on 129. In 26th is Stuart Milne on 129, with Alvin Chan on 128, with Dennis Corner on 128 as well in 27th, 28th. Zoltan Samota on 113, and then Marcello Kessler on 112. That is the current overall championship standings. In the rookies, Connor Gibb is out in front on 344, with Dennis Corner, his only challenger able to take the title away. The problem is Connor is incredibly quick, and Dennis has got about 94 points to try and make up here over this one and the next two races. In the 2.5K, Reno Scatini is out in front on 367, with Dorian Arujo on 347. They are the only two that can mathematically win the championship. In the overall teams, No Limits Racing is out in front on 596, with Scudiera Hydro Race Racing Forces Formula Sim Racing Team by iRace With Andy Flint and Adam Townsma on 531, and then Hydro Race Racing Forces on 520 with Kenzie Neuhoff and Pedro Suarez. No Limits Racing are leading the rookies at the moment, and in the 2.5K it's Modern Racing Prince GP with Evan Way and Matthew Brewer out in front on 233. So that is up to date with all the standings. Let's bring Alex into the booth and have somewhat of a very interesting conversation, as we have only got 15 seconds left of quali. Alex, welcome in, sir. How are you?
Not too bad, and as I come back again to this championship, Jesper Sandström is trying to do a number on everybody else, but Christian Glamsetter is very, very quick. Will McIntyre-Jones has also been showing his speed. Again, for the second time this week. Great to be alongside you, JP. Yeah, I mean, this circuit, I mean, it's going to have everything. You mentioned about the fact it's going to be interesting. I see the words chaos. I see the words cluster being closely associated. There is another word after cluster, but I'll leave that to you folks at home with your relevant imagination. But, I mean, it's been around for just over 3 decades. You know, IMSA has raced here. IndyCar, I mean, you and I were talking just before going on air how difficult it could be running around this circuit, and I said they probably got cojones of steel. Well, the F3 Dallara cars that are de rigueur of this championship, I mean, the last time we worked together on this championship was Imola earlier on this year, when I was actually based in Vilnius in Lithuania, about 2 hours ahead of the current time zone. And that was an absolute cracker. And you know what, I'm expecting something quite similar here. I mean, we had a little bit of messaging from Andy Flint and Kenzie Neuhoff, who said that, yeah, we've just done a 24-hour race, so we might not be feeling the shot. Well, lads, not too shabby. 5th and 6th for Andy and Kenzie, respectively, so far in quali, as the Sheckard is out, as Will McIntyre-Jones in the 141 from Digital Apex remains in 3rd position. His best effort, 1 minute 21.384, so just 2.5 tenths behind. Thalsma trying to move up the order. The Canadian, unfortunately, all the way down in 26th position, but he's hoping to make some inroads. But this is a tight technical circuit, you know, that as the car behind him just literally smacked the wall. I think that was coming out of turn 4. It's just one of those. Oh, and as I say that, Thalsma has the biggest wreck known to iGPFun in recent times. Like, there are no wheels on that wagon.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, to be honest with you, we saw it in practice beforehand. We saw a bit of it in qualifying. You know, they've been hitting the wall. They've been bumping the wall. There's been bits of carbon flying off. If you could ever get onto eBay after this race and pick up carbon, now would be a good time. But the grid is up here as well. And Jesper Sandström is your pole man, with Christian Glamsetter behind him in 2nd. Will McIntyre-Jones in 3rd. Lee Aberdeen in 4th. Andy Flynn 5th. Kenzie Neuhoff 6th. Alex Leledo in 7th. Kelner Gibb in 8th. Josh Sentence 9th. Evan Way 10th, Tony Jimenez in 11th, and Chuck Morrow is down in 12th place. Then we've got Ryan Berry in 13th, Yang Shi Lin in 14th, Pedro Suarez 15th, Stuart Milne 16th, Philip Lucas 17th, Zoltan Sabota 18th, Irvin Tumakin 19th, Vyacheslav Podopenko in 20th, Martis Putnieks in 21st, Robert Widgway 22nd, Lennon Cherry 23rd, and Clark Williams is down in 24th. Alex Hopkins 25th, Adam Townsma down in 26th. Louis Gregg 27th, Manuel Vargas 28th, Koji Ito 29th, Marek Otlops in 30th, Nick Cardy 31st, Reno Schittini 32nd, Patrick Rowlands in 33rd, Reed Dennis 34th, Garrett Spence 35th, and Dorian Arujo in 36th. Then we've got Matt Brewer in 37th, Kevin Swemstra down in 38th, Jerome Lamy 39th, and Kane Laskey down in 40th. A lot of cars on the grid, and, well, not all of them can see the start. Let's just put it that way. They're not going to be able to see the lights. Don't forget, guys, the purple zone we have got here as well. So they are not allowed to actively overtake until the exit of turn 2. So it's a very short one this week compared to some of them that we have seen, where they've been going round to turn 5 at the Hungaroring Ring and halfway around the track in Donington. It's a very short purple zone. They go right into 1, left into 2, and then they are free to race. Whether or not they'll all make it through, well, somewhat sceptical, but the lights are coming on now. Jesper Sandström is out in front. This man is going to try and jump and go away as fast as he possibly can. Here we go, the lights are off and we are green, green, green. Sandström goes round turn 1, he goes round turn 2, and now Christian Eclampsia is free to race him here as well. So let's see what happens with these guys as they come rushing down into turn 3. The right-hander now is a big old defense in the back by, I think, Evan Way with Connor Gibb there, and currently at the moment Lee Aberdeen has apparently not even made the start here, Alex, and has already had an incident, and unfortunately looks like he's dropping down the order.
Oh, that's a real shame for Lee Aberdeen. I mean, starting from 4th on the grid. It's going to give a get-out-of-jail-free card for Andy Flint and Kenzie Neuhoff, but Juan Shi-Lin past Ryan Berry for 13th, Connor Gibb up to P7. Alex Hopkins has got past Clark Williams, and those two ran at the top 25. But Jesper Sandström, if anyone might remember the last time, as I said earlier, Jesper Sandström came back at Imola while I was commentating from Vilnius with some not too bad Wi-Fi, I might actually admit there, Mr. Parfitt. He started early doors to get a bit of an advantage. I mean, his advantage over Christian Glamseter is now 0.5 of a second. But in comparison with somewhere like Imola, where you've got some longer straights, you've got a bit more real estate to play with in terms of runoff area. Here you've got none, because you've literally got a wall here, you've got a wall there, and they've already completed the opening lap, and that's done in 1 minute, just under a minute and a half. And Ryan Berry has just gone tumbling down from 30. Well, he's all the way down in 24th. So, Ryan Berry's actually tumbling even further, and he's in the garage. Oh dear, Ryan Berry seems to be the first major casualty so far.
Let me correct you on that, because at the moment this has happened to Robert Ridgway with Vyacheslav Potapenko, with Leonard Cherry as well, and now carnage has pursued. Robert Ridgway, Leonard Cherry, Potapenko and Alex Hopkins there all got involved in that major ta-ta-ta at the beginning, and we can have a look and see what Ryan Berry got himself into here. The Canadian, was it all on his own? It looks like it was. Round he goes, he's trying to get hold of it, cannot get hold of it, the car's still going, and into the wall goes Ryan Berry. So unfortunately for him, he's not had the greatest of starts either. It looks like Clark Williams, Nick Carty has also had an incident as well here, Alex. So we've lost a few already right at the beginning.
I did say the word chaos, and I did say the word cluster, and we had that in big spades on that first incident. Biggest movers at the moment, Louis Gregg in the 218, up 7 positions, ahead of the Lithuanian Manuel Vargas. They both made up 7 places. Koji Ito has made up 6, as has Marek Ortlovs. Patrick Rowlands, in the meantime, has made up 8 positions. Kevin Svenstra up 10 places. So there is going to be a lot of, I think, attrition in this race here at Belle Isle. It's just bumpy. You've got so many different changes. You've got new concrete, you've got old concrete, you've got asphalt, you've got changes in surfaces, and also a bumpy complexion on this Belle Isle circuit layout. And that, coupled with the proximity of the walls, I think it's anything when if you are a rookie, and I'm using this word, I'm going to enunciate that word again, rookie, when these walls are that close when you're riding in your sim, you are literally having a sphincter clench through every single corner.
Definitely, I fully agree with you there as well. Lee Aberdeen is somehow back in 4th there. Now, on my time screen he went down and now has appeared back in 4th again. Kenzie Neuhoff has got Andy Flint behind him with Connor Gibb and Alex Leledo, with Josh Sentence, Evan Way, Tony Jimenez, Chuck Morrow, Young Shi Lin all for company here. So Kenzie Neuhoff has got to try and break away from this Andy Flint pack that he is making for himself here as well. We talk about, survival, right? And
Yes.
I think this is one of the tracks where survival is key, isn't it? I don't think you're going to be looking at any major overtakes. I'll be very surprised if we see any, to be honest, because at the moment we've just seen incidents of people going past. It's all kind of a one-line circuit, but they've got to survive.
It is, and it's also a game of chess around this circuit, because you never know when someone might make an unforced error. You hit a curb, Rob, you outbrake yourself, you rotate a car through a corner incorrectly, and you spear off, well, first of all, you could end up with 3 rules on your wagon. And second of all, everyone behind you is either going to have to avoid or possibly be in the right place at the right time to get out of dodge, get out of the way, and hope that heavens to Betsy no one hits you up the back going through into that same part of the circuit. So, again, like you said, it is about survival, and sometimes would have been the case of that you're not going to drive at 10/10. You're gonna rake it back a little bit. You're going to give yourself a little bit of a margin for error. And Jesper Sandström, okay, Imola, when we commentated on him last year in this championship on season 2, he was away like a whirling dervish. At the moment, he's only 1.7 seconds up the road, and we're on to lap number 5 of this race. So he is just gauging what's happening. He's got clean air, which is absolutely crucial at this circuit. And if you can make the best of it, he's going to incrementally increase the pace. He's just done a 121.8. No surprise at all there. That's in clean air. There's a little bit further back. Andy Flint. Behind him looks like Connor Gibb and Alex Liedo, with Wan Shi Lin also battling away with Chuck Morrow again. And there is the Spaniard in the 88. Has lost 1 position, so started 7th. He's being closed in on by Josh Sentence, Evan Wade, Tony Jimenez and Wan Shi Lin. Chuck Morrow, Pedro Suarez and Philip Lucas running at the top 15. Top 15 at the moment, folks, covered by just under 16 seconds.
Yeah, they're very close together here, and Connor Gibb has got Alex Leledo tucked up right behind him as they come round the left-hander of 8 down through 9. Then they're going to go left again for 10. Hard on the brakes here for 11. It's going to play, I think, into whoever can survive. And let's take you on a little bit of a lap here of the Detroit with Alex Leledo, so you can get a real feel of how close these walls can be. You can see him now coming down into turn 1. He's got to go right here, try and avoid as much of the curve really as possible. Catches the apex of 2, and now he's running again. 1 slight drift wide, and they're in that wall. Now he's got this run from 2 to the hard braking zone of 3 with a 90-degree right-hander. On the brakes he goes, pitches it in, and around he goes free as well. Then you're coming into the tricky right-hander of 4. It's just non-stop this circuit, Alex, isn't it? It's like literally no time to breathe. We're going left again, then we're going to go right again. We're going up over a bridge. You know, there's a lot going on at Detroit that these drivers have got to get hold of, and there's just so much on a solid pace, one after the other, after the other, after the other. It's a very, very tough circuit.
It really, really is, James, and you can just see the proximity of the walls. They are skirting with them, with the side walls of the tyres. We've seen it in qualifying and in practice. Some people have had some massive, massive wrecks. But it is just, as James said, you've got to really be careful about what happens over the course of the race duration. If you make one slight slip up, as I said, you'll be in the barriers hard, you'll be returning to garage, and the only person that you'll be kicking is yourself for it.
Absolutely, and it looks like Manuel Vargas may have just done that as well. Vargas here. Did he touch the wall? He looked like nearly did there. What did you do? You spun the back end into the wall he goes. And unfortunately for Vargas on lap 5, he has put it into the wall. He looks like he may have survived a little bit here as well. What's happening? He's steering you straight, so he may have just got away with that one. And I tell you what though, Kevin Zwenstra up 13 places at the moment for this Alcantech NHR by Nyman, and he's doing a stellar job working his way through the field. He's not being silly. He's just got Marek Kotlovs there as well on the run down into turn 3 here, Alex. I wouldn't put it past him to be up in at least the top 15, if not higher, by the end of this 32-lap race.
Yeah, Jack Williams has just jumped in the chat. He said this would have been his perfect race for a slow starter like. Name check yourself, why don't you? Shame he's on holiday. By far my favourite driver. That's to give you some... God, talk about egotistical right there, Jack Williams. Well done. But I think it's, yeah, like you say, Kevin Swenstra, difficult qualifying. As I said, with the bumpy, changeable surfaces and the nature of this track, this is one where if you survive this race, no matter where you finished, you will consider it a milestone. You go like, Oh, thank God. We've managed to get through round this Belle circuit in a Dallara Formula 3.
Yep.
Jesper Sandström at the moment, I mean, we're nearly 30% of the way through lap 8 out of 32. He's still running consistently in the high 1 minute 27s. His last lap, 1:21.875. He's just done a personal best in Sector 1. And it's in Sector 2 where he really does tend to gather a bit more pace. He's got really good hustling strength through that second sector. And put it this way, he was over 3.5 tenths quicker than Christian Glamsetter on the previous lap. That's how well poised Jesper Sandström has been. However, we have seen it. Even he, at his caliber, has made mistakes. Let's not forget.
Oh, yes, it's easily done here at a very tricky circuit. You can see it there. Glamsetter slower in 1, he's slower in 2, he's personal best for Sandström in 3. Glamsetter slower again. He's now slower in 4. What's he going to do as he comes over the line here? Sandström is going to be opening up this little bit more and a little bit more. Oh, Glamsetter got him in the final, but literally whatever he did there, he lost in sectors 1 and 4 anyway. And that's the thing for Sandström. He's now got to just be on it, hasn't he? He's just got to concentrate, get it done, finish this track off. He could be 3.5, 4 seconds at least by the time he gets to the end of this race. And I think for Sandström, if he manages to survive, he will do a great job. Unlike Louis Gregg, who looks like he may... Oh, Louis Gregg there getting all out of shape. Unfortunately for him, he looks like he's lost his rear wing or his front wing. He looked like he tapped the wall.
Yeah, that was... he's lost the... tank slapper all the left side. I mean, he got a full-on tank slapper. I think he was just too heavy on the loud pedal on the right hand side, and yeah, caught a tank slapper, and it was just like, good night, Irene. And the left hand side, bang, straight into the barriers, and that's knocked all the steering, the suspension out of bonk, and
jump back into the pits.
Yeah.
Into the pits he goes.
Svenstra watch in the meantime. He's now up 16 places. P38 at the start. Kevin Svenstra now 2 places away from the top 20. Manuel Vargas and Adam Talsma are ahead of the number 41, the Flying Dutchman, in this particular race at the minute. He's doing a great job so far. And there is Vargas in the brightly magenta coloured car there. Lovely, nice to see as always on iRacing. Great liveries.
I know I do love it, the fact that you called it magenta, because me personally it's purple. So, you know, you're just being a little bit more precise than I would have been.
I think it's just my attention. I don't know. I don't know what it is, mate. The thing is that magenta is purple, purple is magenta. You know, we'll call it at that, shall we? Yeah,
we'll leave it at that. Zemstra closes on to the back of Vargas now. Vargas is still going to hang on around turn 3 there as well. Downforce gave me a welcome in. I would race today, but I've got diarrhea.
Oh, he'd be on the throne for quite a bit then.
Yeah, you're definitely...
Whilst the car's in the pits.
Yeah, you definitely ain't going to make it there, mate. And better official, slight justice for them all. Ouch. Yeah, it was definitely an ouch there for him. At the moment, though, we've got Leonard Cherry looking like him and Dorian Arujo are having a nice little battle down in 28th and 29th at the moment. So Dorian Arujo chasing down Leonard Cherry. It looks like these two are struggling with this circuit here as well, and to be honest, I wouldn't blame him. I would be as well. Back up front, Will McIntyre-Jones has got Lee Aberdeen for company. Now, for Lee Aberdeen's purpose here, it's going to be an interesting one. Will McIntyre-Jones has been quick. The top 4 haven't moved positions at the moment, so they are where they are. And to have the Australian of Lee Aberdeen behind you and keeping him at bay at the moment, McIntyre-Jones is doing a stellar job here as they're coming, round onto turn 12, onto lap 12.
Well, the thing is, Lee Aberdeen just closed in on the previous lap, JP, over 4 tenths of a second, nearly 4.5 tenths. So McIntyre-Jones, because he's got no assist, he's now 2 seconds behind Christian Glamsetter in second place. He's got no affordability of any kind of slipstream. as such, and great to see Ria Raccoon getting into the. She says the magenta is a more pinkish purple. Well put. Then goes with regards to Downforce Gaming. Set up your sim in the bathroom. Problem solved. Oh, dearie me.
And then we got obviously the diarrhea, and then I would race 2, but there's a hurricane, tropical storm, and power goes out. And then Ria's put I would race 2, but I'm not in the league. So there we go. As we can see, Lee Aberdeen and Will McIntyre Jones running side by side down into turn 1. McIntyre Jones hangs on for this moment here as well as Aberdeen starts coming at him now. This is it. He's going down this straight. Look at the bumpiness that we can see there, and look at this as he's up and down, up and down. He parks it in the middle of the circuit. It's going to jeopardise his exit, all to try and keep Lee Aberdeen at bay, and he has managed to hold on through turn 4. He's now coming into the left-hander of 5, and for McIntyre Jones here, it's going to be a tough one, Alex, because Lee Aberdeen isn't a slouch, and then behind that as well, you've got the championship leader of Kenzie Newhoff closing the 2 of them down.
Yeah, Kenzie Newhoff was quicker than the 2 in front. He was over nearly 4.5 tenths of a second quicker than Will McIntyre Jones. Over 2 tenths quicker than Lee Aberdeen. So both of them have got to watch their 6 as the Hydra Race Racing Forces number 62 Dutch driver now really trying to close on in. It's just been a case of just those like millimeters. You've got to be really, really perfect. This is back marker just getting out of the way of the trio going through. Whilst this is all happening, Glamset is now 2.5 seconds up the road. No surprise here. Jesper Sandström has checked out a little bit as we're about 4 laps away from half distance. He's nearly 4.5 seconds up the road. Kevin Svenstra is, and as I say that, Kevin Svenstra has again Aberdeen trying that outside look towards turn 1 on a McIntyre Jones. Kevin Svenstra is now 3 seconds away from P20.
Yeah, here goes Aberdeen. He's got to try it round the outside of Prix. He's not. He's going to try to cut back coming out of 4. They're going to be side by side. It's going to be Aberdeen. He's going to have that inside line. He gets the job done. He set up McIntyre Jones there. He gave him a hint he was going to go on the outside. Then he cut back on him, Alex, and he literally played him like a pack of cards there. He set him up, knocked him down, and got through anyway. Now it's over to Kenzie Newhoff. Can Newhoff do the same thing? But that was amazing from Aberdeen there as well. He went on the outside, cut him back coming out the corner, and then get him on the exit of 4. It was absolutely incredible.
It was textbook from Aberdeen, just sticking his nose to the left-hand side as if to give Will McIntyre Jones a bit of the frighteners condition, so to speak. And from that perspective, Aberdeen knew that he'd measured it right and got the job done very, very quickly. Don't wait for Kenzie Newhoff to hang about, because I know for a fact he won't be in that number 62. You can just see how close the walls are. Now, was Will McIntyre Jones a bit too close to the wall coming out of that right-hander? He might have been as they're going across the line now. And it's going to be how Kenzie Newhoff comes out of turn number 2. So they both avoid the curbing on the inside. This is really a case of, I think Kenzie Newhoff, he needs to be about 2 tenths of a second behind Will McIntyre Jones coming out of turn 2. That's when he's going to have his affordable opportunity. A bit like with Aberdeen on a couple of laps ago. It was the way that Aberdeen just measured it. Tony Jimenez, in the meantime, has dropped towards the mid part of the final third of the top 15. He's down to 13th position, is the number 11. He's dropped 2 places. Huan Shi Lin is trying to close in on Evan Way for the final spot in the top 10. And Kevin Svenstra is slowly chipping away. He's just taken 4.5 tenths out of Adam Talsma in the battle for P20 as we run on board with Tommy Jimenez in the number 11, DriveX Esports. Shout out to my good buddy from karting, Karol Stout, who's part of their young driver development program with regards to F4. So Tony Jimenez doing a very good job trying to keep Chuck Morrow very, very occupied, but they've got Pedro Soares not too far behind in the number 45 entry. He's gained 1 place. So yeah, Kevin Svenstra, the Flying Dutchman at the moment, 17 places gained along with him. Patrick Rowland's up from 33rd to 25th. Vargas, Ito, Otlovs, they've all gained 6 places, so they're getting closer and closer towards the top 20. But I think really it's just a fait accompli on how much longer it's going to be before Kenzie Newhoff decides to get past Will McIntyre-Jones. But the gap between the Aberdeen, McIntyre-Jones and Newhoff has now expanded to about 1.3 seconds between the trio.
Yeah, Laledo and Connor Gibb are not very far apart as well. Tony Jimenez did just lose that place tomorrow on that run out of turn 2 down into 3. Now we've got Putnieks. He is chasing down Zoltan Zamota at the moment here as well, and Zoltan Zamota is up 2 places while Marcis Putnieks is up 4. So it's a battle of the 16th and 17th place drivers here. So let's see how this one pans out together. They are on their run down into turn 7. Left hand, they went to the left, and now they've come around the right hander of 7, and now they go round. Now this could precede this corner alone here, Alex. As he was close, wasn't he? Putnieks nearly literally lost it there as well. Bit of sidewall rubbing. He's going to try that cut back out of turn 11, down through 12 there as well. But Otlox was very, very close to making it into the wall. He must have had side rubber smoke off them tyres on this Formula 3 as he's now going down the start-finish straight here as well. He's got to look for this 2-tenth gap coming out of turn 1. McIntyre-Jones at the moment is trying to hang on here, and it's going to be very, very difficult for McIntyre-Jones because look how close Newhoff is behind him here, Alex, as well. He pulled in that gap. He's got him down to about 4 tenths at the moment, and he's absolutely pressurising McIntyre-Jones here. And I think, to be honest, I think Kenzie Newhoff should, and I say this lightly, should get him, but that's no detriment to McIntyre-Jones. I'm sure he'll defend like an absolute lion.
Yeah, well, Adam Talsman's got to watch his 6 because Kevin Swemster in the last 3 laps has just taken 2 seconds out of him. And they are battling away. It's half a second. This is the battle for P20. And there is Swemster. And just ahead, there is Adam Talsman, the Canadian, in the number 7 entry, having gained 6 places, started 26 on the 40-car grid, and it's 3.5 tenths. Swemstra has been on full push. I think he's the only driver that's throwing caution to the wind and managed to get, obviously with that chaotic cluster of an incident that we had earlier on today, Swemstra has been the one that has really, really profited from everyone else losing their heads, and he's kept his rather cool. I know for a fact he'll be sweating like a pig in a blanket after this race, as will everybody else, but you can see the speed he's carrying through. And now Adam Talsma has really got to start defending because he knows that Swemstra could have him. I think coming out of turn 2 and into the run down into the right-hander at turn 3, that is Swemstra's best opportunity to strike whilst the iron is hot. And now they come out of turn 2. Swemstra pulls alongside, now pulls to the right, and it is going to be pretty much all said and done. Swemstra's going to get the inside line. That's P20. 18 places gained in just over 16 and a bit laps by Kevin Swemstra. What a performance tonight.
Yeah, now he's got to try and get onto the back of Stuart Milne. Stuart Milne's about 4 seconds up the road. So let's see how far Swemstra can take this Alcantech NHR by Nyman Racing F3. Can he break the top 15? It's a big ask to get to Zamota. I'm not going to lie for Kevin Swemstra. He's got about 6.5 seconds. Sandstrom, fastest lap of the race on a 1:21.7 there as well. Stellar job from him. Swemstra here getting past the back marker, still chasing down Stuart Milne at the moment as well. Zoltan Zamota still got Putnieks tucked right behind him, and at the moment these guys are running off through turn 13 and down into 14, coming into that turn 1. That fast entry right-hander, and Zamota's got to be looking at trying to defend from Putnieks coming out of 2. Here he goes now. Putnieks tucked up right behind him. He's looking at trying to pull in. He's coming in, he's closing, he's down to a 10th and a bit. He now pulls out. It's going to be the last of the late breakers, and Putnieks, doesn't make it this time, Alex, but I'm guessing if he can stay within that range, it's definitely not going to be long.
Yeah, if he stays within 1.5 to 0.3 of a second of Zoltan Zamota, he's got the perfect opportunity. As we saw with that great move just for P20 just a few moments ago between Kevin Swemstra and Adam Talsma. You line it up outside of turns 1 and 2, that's your perfect opportunity It's the longest straight on the circuit. It's the best overtaking opportunity to really take advantage of. And if Samotor gets a little bit tail happy like he was just then, going through the right-hander, Putniks will be past him quicker than you can say the word jump, and then through into 16th position. But this is a very, very close battle, as we've seen over previous iGPFun League F3 races, that there is a lot of battling up and down the order. And in the meantime, Kenzie Newhoff has lost big time to Will McIntyre-Jones. He was about 0.3 of a second off at one point. The gap has now expanded to 1.3, so Kenzie Newhoff might not be able to go for a top 3 result. I mean, the track temperature has been slightly dropping, but it's just under 39 degrees Celsius. Stu Milne in the number 49, battling away with Ervins Tumulkans from Latvia. Looks towards the inside as the Scotsmen get through.
Yes.
That is pretty much a yes on that one.
Yeah, Andy Flint has got Alex Laledo tucked up right behind him, and Connor Gibb for company here. So Andy Flint, as he comes round the left-hander of 8 and through 9, has got a free car. Little train developing, and now it's all about whether or not Flint can keep his nerve. Can he keep his nerve and look at holding Laledo back? That's going to be the interesting development over the next 12 races. Are the tyres going to last? That's an interesting thing as well. Will they survive throughout the race? We can have a look now at the track temperature of 39 degrees centigrade at the moment as well. So it's not boiling here, but it's getting a little bit warm.
Did Flint just have a little touch with the wall on the right-hand side coming out too?
Yeah. It looked like he might have sparked it up.
Yeah, I think now, because we're getting towards the final third of this race, now this is where the tiredness, with so much mental and physical focus, you're concentrating, your eyeballs are on stalks, you need eyes in the back of your head, unless you're using VR, of course, where you can just turn it around. This, as I said, this circuit, you are not given a chance to breathe. We both touched on that tonight, James, that at a circuit like Detroit, you are dealing with every single bump, the amount of force feedback you got through your direct drive, your brake and your throttle pedal, you've got to modulate them correctly. You've got to make sure that you're not overpowering coming out of the corners, like we saw earlier on, where drivers have had a tank slapper and then ended up at the wall, and then that's their race done and dusted, and that's a major loss of points at this stage of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you're coming into where we are now in round 10, you really don't want to be doing it. Sandstrom set the fastest lap again, 1:21.656 for Flint and Laledo. And kind of the interesting thing, it always keeps me interested here with the man in the middle. And I've been in this situation in a car as well, and I've driven obviously on iRacing and stuff like that as well. You try and not look back, but you kind of have to at certain points of the circuit. Like now, I would be looking behind me as I'm coming in, because you never know whether or not there's going to be a flying F3 on your inside, For Laledo, out of these 3, he's probably got the toughest job, because Flint's got nobody in front of him, or he can just go on, try and open it up. Laledo's in the middle. He's got to defend and attack at the same time. And for Connor Gibb, he's just trying to chase down Laledo. So Laledo is really in the toughest spot out of these 3 at the moment, because as you say, he's got to look forward and he's got to have eyes in the back of his head. And again, round Detroit, I wouldn't want to be looking backwards as much as, well, to be honest, I wouldn't want to be looking backwards full stop.
Well, considering also the fact behind Connor Gibb, Josh Sentence and Evan Way have been making some inroads as well. Also, Svens to watch is very much underway. He's up 19 places. He's now to 19th. He's within 0.6 of a second of Scotland's Stu Milne, and just under 0.2 in front of them is Ervins Tumulkans. So Kevin Svemstra's opportunity, maybe getting a top 15, might not be 100% shot down in flames, because you look at the gap between Svemstra, Milne, Tumulkans, Zamotor and Putniks, you're talking probably the best part of just under 4 seconds. And with the pace that Svemstra's been running like a madman. He's running at the 1:22.3s. Stu Milne last time, folks, 1:24.2. He was nearly 2 seconds slower. And Svemstra's got definitely the wind going through his wings, let alone beneath them at the moment with the aerodynamic effects. And Svemstra nearly has a slight glance with the wall. Coming out of T2, he's going to pull to the right-hand side. And Stu Milne ain't going to fight that at all. No way does he do that. He decides to let him go and thinks, right, you know what? You're a lot faster than me. Hop on.
Sometimes it's better to let them go than try and fight, to be honest, because he knows that Toomekins is really his target of person he's racing. When you see the likes of Zwemstra coming behind you, you instantly sit back and think, something's happened. You know what I mean? He's never normally this far back. Something happened. He didn't get out, didn't put a lap in. But now he goes again. He's just cleared. Toomekins there as well, and he's through. And now he's got Zamotta. Now, remember when I said that gap was 6.5 seconds to Zoltan Zamotta is now 2.5 seconds. He has taken 4 seconds out of him over the last 3 laps here, and he's now closing in at a rapid rate. This could be the top 15 for Zwemstra. I'm not going to put it past him. Now, unfortunately, though,
Toomekins.
Toomekins and Milne look like they may have had a coming together here, or one of them's done something and the other one's followed him. Yes.
Oh, Toomekins just went, exit stage left, and Milne had nowhere to go on that one. But Toomekins lost the rear wing, he's lost a wheel, return to garage. That's a real shame for him. But you know what? We did say about the fact of how demanding this circuit would be. Toomekins has just proved that in spades. As it's 3 wide. What on earth are you guys on at the minute? I'm sorry, 3 wide at that point of the circuit? Are you loco? Are you crazy?
Yeah.
And Talisman's involved in all of this. He's the piggy in the middle. He's got Vargas just behind, Milne just up ahead, Suarez in the number 45, who's dropped down to 21st, is going to get back into the top 20. And I've just spotted Zoltan Zamotor has just started responding, James. He's just done a personal best lap of the race, a 1 minute 22.725. Gap between him and Kevin Swemstra now has dipped underneath 1.9 seconds. Oh, I think 15th could be on, but we are fast running out of laps. We've got we're on lap 23. We've got pretty much 8.5 to go, including this one, as Jesper Sandström has got nearly a 9-second advantage over Christian Glamsetter. Lee Aberdeen is 2.5 seconds adrift in third. And Will McIntyre-Jones has started reeling him back in. Looks like the number 141 has started to get a second wind.
We'll have to see how he catches on and whether or not he can move forward. For Townsmat, he's still in this battle with Milne. They're alongside each other. Milne's going to hang it in there in the inside, and Townsmat cannot get through this time around, but I'm expecting him to try at some point, probably coming out of 6 here, and whether or not he can make that move down into turn 7. Leledo and Flynn are battling it out with Connor Gibb once more. Josh Sentence and Evan Way are still fighting it out as well. So it's how far can Sentence get here? Well, we're going to find out. How far can Zwemstra get? Well, his gap to Zoltan Zamotta is literally barely 1.2 seconds. He is closing in at a rapid rate of knots. We will keep an eye on it. But look at this. Milne, Townsmat, Suarez, Vargas bar. Story on Suarez, he went into the pits earlier on, and unfortunately he entered into the pits on lap 18. So there could have been some form of issue with Suarez as to why he went into the pits, but he went in at lap 18, and that's why he's down his 5 places. It was 6. He's just cleared Vargas, and now he's going after Milne as well. Great little battle here, even though 18th, 19th, 20th and 21st just goes to show you, Alex, no battle is a no battle. They're just going full bore as much as they possibly can, and the same with Josh Sentence and Evan Way here.
I've missed this. Ever since doing that race at Imola for iGPFun League, which was an absolute cracker, this is an absolute belter as well. I mean, it just goes to show. And now, keep your eyes on what might be happening a little bit further down the order. If you look at positions 15, 16 and 17, gap between Putniks, Zamotor and Zwemstra is just about 1.5 seconds. Stu Milne has just lost out to Adam Talsma in the meantime. They are going side by side. Who's going to be the bravest of the braves? Bravest of the brave is going to be the Canadian. Is that going to be Soares trying to get through on Milne? I don't think he has. No, he's nearly lost to Vargas in the meantime. Has Pedro Soares in the number 45 Hydra Race Racing Forces, number 45. That was a bit of a Code Brown moment there for the Portuguese driver, I will completely admit. But you know what? There's still more to come. Swempster's now within 7/10 of a second of Zamotor, and who's in turn about 7.5 tenths behind Putnik. So the battles are fast and furious up and down the order, as we customarily have here in the iGPFun Formula. Oh, that's a great move there. If he could, yeah, I think he's got him. Yeah, he's got him. He's got the overspeed. He's got the overspeed. He's around the outside, halfway down the straight into the next right-hander at T3. And Soares gets through for 19th. Great job.
Yeah, Suarez there. Now it leaves Vargas to have a go here and see if whether or not Vargas can get Stuart Milne coming round turn 5 into the right-hander of 6. If he can catch this massive overspeed here, he's got to run through 6 down into 7. He might be able to close him up enough. Is he going to be able to get him down onto the entrance of 7 at the moment? Milne's there. Vargas is going to go late on the brakes. Is he going to try? He puts him off this time. Milne says, nope, thank you very much. You are not doing that to me. So for Stuart Milne, the Scotsman put it in and said, no, from you, sorry, Vargas, you are just going to have to sit there. So Manuel Vargas there, well, got to go again. Evan Way has cleared a sentence, but sentence, I think that was on the run down from turn 2 to 3, which is the likely position that we probably have just seen it. And now they are on their way round turn 6. Evan Way's looking speedy here. Sentence has got to just try and gather his head again, I think, and go once more at Evan Way, because if he starts really panicking, that gap at the moment, there's 4 tenths here, Alex, could just be extending bit by bit by bit, and he's only got about 5.5 laps left.
If that, yeah, because our race leader is about to complete our 27th lap. Jesper Sandström now has nearly a 10-second advantage over Christian Glamsetter in the number 18. Lee Aberdeen a further 2.3 seconds back. So yeah, Sentence, as you said, has just got to gather himself back up, refocus. But we know that these, 5 laps, that's what? It's probably about 6 and a bit minutes of racing still left to go. And Sentence now, this is the run through turns 1 and 2. They've just crossed the stripe. So it's about how Sentence comes out of the corner. If he's close enough, he's going to get the overspeed. He's 3 tenths behind. That closing distance is going to start coming down a little bit. Well, if he was a little bit closer, coming out of T2. Like I say, it's the run out of turn 1 and turn 2 here, JP, that are so crucial. You want to make an overtake, you've got to be right up their exhaust pipe, right up the rear diffuser to try and have any chance whatsoever to get through.
Yeah, Chokmaro, Yangshi Lin here happen to be close together once more. Jiangxi Lin in the number 30, 11th place, Morrow in 12th. As for Zwemstra, well, there's Put the X. We are in the top 15. We are up 23 places. 23 places for Kevin Zwemstra from the Alcantech at NHR by Nyman Racing. Wow, that's all I can say for Kevin Zwemstra, and I've got a funny feeling he's going to be up 24 places by the time he clears Marcius Putnieks here as well. Don't think he's going to get Tony Jimenez. Tony Jimenez 9 seconds up the road, and we've only got about 3 laps remaining. So we'll keep an eye on Zwemstra, but also I want to have a look at what Andy Flint is up to here, and it looks like he may have just touched that wall, and Leledo trying to get a hold of him as well for the final top 6 space. Still going at each other, Alex. Flint, Leledo, and Nuop's a little bit further up, and Connor Gibb has just dropped out of that second range at the moment. But if we go back to the man we were just talking about, he's right up behind Putnieks as he comes over the line.
Yeah, looks to be position number 24 soon to be gained. Ryan Berry, I actually noticed the 47. He was a little bit further up the order, and he's just had a trip into the pit lane. Here's Matt Breuer in the number 29.
I'm wondering if
Oh, that's a wallop and a half. That's big old wallop. And this is Ryan Berry into the sweeper here at this left-hander into the right. What's going to happen here? He's hit exactly the same place. Oh, he clobbered the left rear wheel on the outside wall at all when he takes off the rear wing as well. And then magically through the world of iRacing, it detaches and then reattaches to the rear of Stellara F3. That's brilliant comic timing.
Yeah, the wonderful gaming physics of iRacing there, and you did see it pop off and then it jumped back on. So there we go. But Zwemstra now looking to try and get up into 14th. He's got the run through turn 8, 9 and 10. He goes around the right-hander of 11. Oh, Putney X, are you pulling over or are you going to put it up a fight? Come on, son. You're not an old-timer. You're not a boxer just in it for the money. Give him a run for his money here. Get your gloves out. Give him some. All the way down the straight here from Kevin Zwemstra. I think Putney X is going to concede and defeat. And Zwemstra up 24 there. So unfortunately for Putney X, he's down 1 position. Can he come back at him? Down the run from 2 to 3. He's too far back. That gap is not going to be closed enough. So Zwemstra up into 14th, up 24 positions. Stellar job by the Flying Dutchman.
Has he had his ready breath this morning, I think?
He might have had wait a bit.
Oh, he had a glance from the wall coming out of 3, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, dearie me. Kevin Zwemstra, you have done all that hard work. You've got just over 2 laps to go. Don't go from hero to 0, please, mate. You've done an absolutely fantastic job of entertaining myself and James all night long. Jesper Sandström, in the meantime, JP, is on his penultimate lap out of 32.
Yeah, and for this man, I have a funny feeling there may have been a little bit of a brush somewhere because he has lost nearly 5 seconds. Oh,
yes. He clipped, he went into the right-hander, and as he did so, the left rear came out, spat him into the barriers, and he got a bit of a clobbering on that one. And that gap now was 8 seconds?
8 or 9
it's now
seconds.
3.5. It's now 3.5 as they're going on to their penultimate lap. So, Kevin Zwemstra, this could be the drive of the season, having qualified all the way down in 38th position. Imagine that, 25 places gained as Andy Flint has really got Alex Liedo right up his rear trumpet and is giving the Spaniard something very much to think about. He's making the wide of that Stellara F3 as wide as humanly possible and nearly loses the back end whilst trying to go through the double left-hander.
Yeah, I don't think people can understand how tight this track is. Sandstrom on the final lap of the race. He's going round 1. He's coming out of the exit of 2. We will keep an eye on him. I want to see what Laledo can do here against Flint. Can he close him up on this final lap? They go over the line now. This is it. It's do or die moments for everyone in the positions they're in. If you're in a fight, you need to get past him. If you're not in a fight, you need to get to the end because the walls can still spit you out here and you can end up losing a wheel. And for Jesper Sandström, he's clearing back markers at the moment as well, Alex. He has just been absolutely unstoppable from hero, from the checkered right, from the green right the way to the checkered here for Sandström, and now he's on his way round turn 8. He's got to go left. Here we go. Left now, left again, and we've got literally 4 corners remaining here from Sandström, who's gonna come over the line. He's gonna take the win, and he's gonna do it in emphatic style. A whole 12, nearly 13 seconds ahead of anybody else on circuit. And here he goes, Jesper Sandström. Round now, he's gonna come over the line. He's gonna finish. He's gonna take that victory. Jesper Sandström, an absolute stellar win from him. Alex Laledo still battling away. We're here with Andy Flint as they're coming around the last couple of corners as well. And I think they're going to be in the positions they are in here. Clamsey, Aberdeen, McIntyre, Newhoff, Flint and Laledo. Sandström is on a different level, isn't he? He just cruised that one for 13 seconds, Alex.
Oh, Suarez just went out with 1 lap to go.
He went into the pits.
Oh, he went into the pits, yeah. So did Leonard Cherry, but yeah, Jesper Sandström. I I can't say much about him because, like, literally, he did a number on everybody. Like he did when we last commentated on him together on this championship, season 2. I can't remember what round it was, but it was Imola. What number round, I might say. And he did a number. He won by, like, nearly 30 seconds. On this one, to win by 13.3 seconds at this kind of track. Well, everyone that's made it to the checkered, well done. Congratulate yourselves. Give yourselves a pat on the back. And then take the longest, coldest shower you've probably had in most recent time after jumping off the sim, because you definitely deserved it.
Absolutely, a stellar job. If you've managed to get to the end, great racing there as well, as they have all finally come over and finished what can only be described as a very, very tough evening of racing. And let's look at the final results. Jesper Sandström out in front by 13.3 seconds. Stellar job from Jesper Sandström there as well. Christian Glamseter behind in second place. Lee Aberdeen in third. Will McIntyre-Jones finishes in fourth there. Kenzie Neuhoff in fifth. Andy Flint in sixth place. Alex Leledo in seventh. Connor Gibb eighth. Evan Way down in ninth with Josh Sentence in your rounding out your top 10. Chuck Morrow in 11th, Young Shi Lin in 12th, Tony Jimenez 13th, Kevin Swemstra. Well, he gained 24 places, pops it inside the top 15 and goes and puts it in 14th. Stellar job from him. Marcius Putnieks is down in 15th place. Then you've got Zoltan Zamota, Adam Townsman, Manuel Vargas, Stu Milne, Koji Ito, Reno Scatini, Marek Otlovs, Patrick Rowlands, Leonard Cherry and Robert Ridgway all finished one lap down. And then you've got Dorian Arujo, Irvin Tulmakens, Pedro Suarez 2 laps down. Then you've got the likes of Lucas, Berry, Brewer, Spence, Podopenko, Hopkins and Louis Gregg finishing further down with Reed Dennis and Clark Williams there as well. So a stellar race for some, but I suppose the only way to put it, Alex, is I survived for others, because that's really what today was about.
100%. It was just about, as I said earlier, and as you said earlier, we could wax lyrical about Detroit until the cows come home, James, to be completely honest with you. But it is that track that is abrasive, multi-surface. The undulations, you know, coming out of turn 2, the amounts of undulations you saw in there, it was like a Dallara F3 car suddenly become a four-wheeled yo-yo on a bungee cord. But literally, they were being bounced up and down. The amount of force feedback going through the direct drives, especially on the driver's respective settings, could have been absolutely phenomenal to deal with. But Jesper Sandström, again, makes a one-off appearance, blows everyone out of the cobweb, blows the cobwebs out, blows everyone out of the spider web, and does a number on everybody. But you know what? We had great battling all the way through tonight's race. It's a great circuit. I mean, it just goes to show that there's so many different cars that you can use on the iRacing service. I mean, we've commentated on the Porsche Cup Challenge Europe, the season finale at this very circuit as well, and that was under nighttime skies. So, yeah, I mean, today, some great racing, but the driver of the day, of course, has to be the Flying Dutchman, Kevin Swemstra. 38th on the grid to finish P14. Was pushing like nobody's business. Sandström had it all easily done, secured pole by just over a tenth, and just ran away to a 13.3 second lead at the end of it all. But Swemstra was the one that showed that intestinal fortitude and cojones of steel were definitely quite clearly needed here tonight at Detroit.
Yeah, absolutely. I fully agree with you there. You can all pat yourselves on the back and say, well done, we survived, because it was very, very tough. But that is it, guys. That's going to round out tonight's broadcast. Thank you so much to everyone that's joined us in chat there, and Jack Williams blowing his own trumpet. Well, if you don't do it, I'm sure nobody else will. Don't forget, join us later on for the Radical Sim Racers America's SR10 from Bathurst. That's going to be an exciting one. not to say the least. So make sure you tune in for that one at 1:45 a.m. in the morning. I think that's 8:45, if I'm not mistaken, Eastern time. So tune it in for that one. But for now, guys, that is going to bring this to an end. From myself, James Parfitt, I've been with Alex Goldschmidt in the booth here this evening. You all take care. Have a great week. And you never know, we might see you on the track sometime. Good night.